Welcome back, listeners. And I'm starting this off with a warning. We have no idea what we're doing for this episode. We are still in perfect movie month, but that does not mean we have a plan. What is up, Scott?
Hey, what's happening, Jude?
What is up, Dana?
What's up, buddy? I mean, life is perfect when you don't have a plan.
Oh man.
Oh boy. That doesn't bode well to me. That's not inspiring. I don't know if you meant it to be
No, you don't want to
inspiring.
hear that from your leader.
Ay, ay, ay. As we mentioned, it is Perfect Movie Month, the final week of our Perfect Movie Month. We just came off of what we consider to really be a perfect movie, which is the Shawshank Redemption. But the other weeks saw differing opinions and even some agreements, some disagreements. It's been a quite the interesting month, but I think this week is gonna be who boy because we have no idea what we're doing for this episode. And so don't mind us while we debate what damn movie we're gonna review this week.
All right, so I believe on the last episode we kind of went through our lists again. We had a few movies in common. I think June and I both had Jaws on our list.
Yes.
Dana and I
Perfect
both had
movie.
Shawshank, so we were on there. I threw out Back to the Future, which June quickly agreed with me that was a perfect movie, but someone else doesn't think it's a perfect movie. Um, and
Who gives a
then
fuck about a DeLorean? Are you serious? Christopher Lloyd? I'm done. Whatever.
you had me at Christopher Lloyd and DeLorean. I mean, I'm all in. I mean,
Everything you just listed, Dana, just made me want to watch it even
It
more.
made the
no
movie
shit,
better.
man. The only other movie I would say would be Forrest Gump, just for the fact that I'm almost positive this movie does not hold up.
Really?
Perfect
When was the last time you
fucking
watched?
movie.
The world will never seem the same once you've seen it through the eyes of Forrest Gump.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
After some debate, as you saw or heard in the first half, we settled on Forrest Gump, and now we have watched this movie, and we are back to give our opinions. But before I do that, I do want to say a few things. What you see on YouTube are promos. It's like 10 to 15-minute clips of an hour and a half audio podcast. And so if you haven't been logging on, you are definitely missing out. Make sure that you do catch the full-length audio podcast on your favorite streaming platform. Every episode, you won't be disappointed. It's golden. If you like what you hear and see in these promos, you definitely love the full length audio podcast. But you know what? We haven't gotten to our reviews yet. We don't know which way this is gonna go. We don't know which way. Well, for Scott maybe, but for me, no. And even for Dana. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's jump right into Forrest Gump.
Scott, can you talk about this Oscar-winning film? Do you have anything that you found on there?
I was
Oh,
afraid
okay.
to ask him, but
It wasn't nominated for 6 Academy Awards, one for Best Actor for Tom Hanks, which not deserved. He beat out John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, and he beat out a certain gentleman named Morgan Freeman for Shawshank Redemption. He did not do better than Morgan Freeman. I mean, come on, Dana, you got it.
So you're saying that this came out the same year as those
Same
two
year.
films?
So yeah, they're all nominated
Holy
for the
shit,
same
that's
year.
some really stiff competition, yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You're
What year
right.
is
Morgan
this?
Freeman played a white guy with red hair. Absolutely sick.
Wow.
It was a big hit. It was made for 55 million, grossed 678 million worldwide. So it was a big hit.
Woo.
No accounting for
Wow.
taste. A lot of people voted for Trump. I get it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is Robert Zemeckis. He made other great films. He made Back to the Future, Castaway. Sometimes you don't make all great films. He also made Forrest Gump. So yeah. I believe it won Best Picture too, right? Yeah, it won Best Picture over Shawshank Redemption, over Pulp Fiction. I mean, come on. We go back in history now. This did not deserve the Academy Award.
Scott's eyes just rolled to the back of his head, man. So the movie starts, man, with the worst CGI feather I've ever seen. It's floating in the air. It's a nice way to start the movie. I had forgotten. I hadn't watched this movie since I was a young man. I think since when it came out. Um, And this movie was a sensation at the time, and I think still is. It's considered a classic.
I don't think so. I bet you. I know. I really don't think Gen Z knows this movie. I think they know
I
Bubba
can't.
Gump from Bubblegum Shrimp. I don't think they know it. I really don't think it's
Life
a big
is like
movie.
a box of chocolates. You don't
Yeah,
think
I
anybody
I bet you they don't know what it's from.
Well,
so you
again,
think like they've heard it and they're like you think that's an everyday saying is what you're trying to tell me right now.
Yeah, I think it is now. I think I don't think they know this movie. I asked all my nieces and nephews that they range from 24 to 5, and no one's familiar. No one has seen the movie of what I've asked. So I
wow,
wanted
that
to
I
know.
find hard
I
to believe.
text all of them, and that's 9 different children, and none of
Well, to
them
me, it
know this
makes
movie.
sense. I mean, it's you have bad taste in movies. It's obviously hereditary. So I don't really.
It's
I feel like
genetic.
that's not proof. I
Oh,
just feel like it's just that's genetics.
wow.
You're making me
Um,
laugh as far as the graphics though, because so thinking about that feather and how it's supposed to be symbolism of going through, wasn't the bigger deal about this movie, I guess I'm already kind of summarizing it, but wasn't a lot of budget about getting him into those old clips. I
oh
didn't even think
yeah.
about the
And those
feather,
were the
but oh my
worst. That
goodness,
was the worst special effect in the movie. That was worse than the feather. The
I
having
didn't think
Kennedy
about
speak
that.
and all that looked like shit. That looked like
Some
absolute horseshit.
some of it did not hold up
Really?
well. Some scenes better
Yeah.
than others. That was tricky. Those historic shots
Oh
with like
yeah, it's not easy. At
presidents
the
or
time,
whatever.
I thought it would look good, but now I look at it
Everyone
like,
did, yeah. No, now,
it,
I mean, by
it,
today's standards of special effects, it's a little dicey.
you
Yeah.
know, we got deep fakes now, so I get it. But I mean,
Yeah.
it still looks pretty.
It was
I
effective. It was
they
effective.
they should have been sued for this.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Right away, we from the moment he starts talking, and most of this movie is his narration. So we hear a lot of him talking, but we get the sense that Forrest Gump is probably
Is it a
challenged in some
dumbass?
way.
Oh, a challenge. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Well, I wouldn't I wouldn't go this guy, but damn, we're gonna get canceled.
What's wrong with these guys?
We're
They
officially
never
gonna get
says
canceled.
he has a problem. They say he's an IQ of 75. They don't say he's and his mother goes out of the way to say that he's special and not intellectually
As
challenged. So
as most mothers will, whether their
she
kids
goes
are
so far she
special or
sleeps with
not.
the principal over it.
Now, well, we haven't gotten to that
This
yet. Scott,
family
slow
movie.
down. Slow down. We right away we know that Forrest Gump is there's something going on with him mentally. But and you know what? I can't get into that without getting into my critique. Scott, do
Are
you want to
you
go first? Because
are
you're
you gonna
here.
make it?
Oh,
You
it
would you
doesn't
like to go ahead and go with
matter.
the
No,
criticism?
no, 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 no. This is Dana's movie. You can go first, Dana.
Oh, okay. It's Dana's movie now. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, this is definitely Dana's movie. There's no
Go,
doubt
Dana,
about
go.
that.
What a well. First of all, I will go ahead and rate it. It was on my
Oh,
perfect movie list, and it's still a perfect movie to me.
really? You don't you
Not a
Um,
don't feel
surprise.
any less about it?
no, I mean, so we talked about this throughout.
Hmm.
I still think it's timeless. I obviously have a lot of nostalgia for it because I know what I was doing in '94. I was growing into the great young man that I am to be today. But I was still a child, so
Yeah.
it was a good movie just to, you know, I knew parts of history, but part of it was just I understood the humor where they were going with it for my age, and it's always just stuck. Um, yeah, I mean, the special effects, yeah, I get it. It's the deep fakes that kids who make on their phones now are better than the special effects. I get that. But I thought it's very unique. Story about a guy who just finds his way and bumbles his way throughout life, but still finds a way to be successful. So obviously that I do think it's timeless. I do think it has great nostalgia, so it's going to be hard just to pull from there. But I think originality goes a long way on this, and though there are things that you could sit and pick, I agree with you know, who the fuck is going to sit on a bus bench for like 2.5 hours and just talk all day,
They didn't
to
do
a
that
bunch of
here in New
strangers.
York.
I
I'll tell
mean,
you that
like,
much.
talk to somebody who knows where the street you need to go to. Like, how about that? So I get that. but beyond that, this was to me charming movie. it did really, really well for where it was supposed to hit. It was supposed to give you some highs, maybe a little bit of tragedy, but it's a comedy at the end of the day. So I mean, I loved it. I mean, it's not gonna, no matter what Scott says, it's not gonna sway me for it being a
Ah!
perfect movie. Because I do
Incredible.
think it's just it's probably one of the few original comedies that I could think of that are, I mean, there's no other one like it.